Okay, everybody, I'm laughing. Here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino, Friday, May 31st, 2024. Did you see that epic freaking turnaround with regard to this market? Unbelievable. The Dow put on like 550 points towards the end, the S&P 500, nice gains, and then the NASDAQ reversed substantial losses from earlier, finished at the flat line. And why? Obviously, you know what's going on here. A lot of debt buying, and we know who's buying the debt. It's no secret, people, and it's the cavalry. Obviously, we knew this was going to happen. Is it going to persist? I believe it is. I really, really do. Let's just look at something real quick. You and I, we follow this every day. I look at this honestly multiple times per day. Now, this is a short-term chart here. This is just on the day. Look at what happened here with regard to risk as the debt market was being bought up. Now, here's our trend line that you and I have been following. We're coming down towards this support line here. The trend is still higher. Okay, is it possible we're going to break to the downside? I think it's highly likely. All right, let's talk about something real quick. The data that they're fist feeding us is what you and I would have expected. I think for the most part here, inflation continues to rise. My European friends are really getting it. We're getting it just as bad here. And wait till I have a whole bunch of charts I'm going to share with you. And the data is fake anyway, but we all know that. The fact of the matter is the cost of living is skyrocketing. You want to see what it looks like? This is a 2-year chart of the cost of a living here. We're starting to go parabolic, as you can see, 2 years. This is, but inflation is getting better. It's only temporary. It's transitory. 2 years. This is where we're going here. Doesn't look too pretty now, right? Now, on the back of that here, this is the goal. This is what central banks want to do. Inflate. That's their power. Period. The end. They're buying everything. They're buying more debt as well. Recently, we're just in a red zone. This is coming down. This could fall substantially. It could rise substantially. However, this is a selection cycle, a presidential selection cycle, and I believe the Fed is going to prop up this market. That's what they just do, period, at the freaking end. But with regard to rate cuts, okay, and how the Fed is going to prop this up, based on what we're seeing here, by their own numbers, inflation continues to rise. So we were lied to. It wasn't temporary. It wasn't transitory. There's no end in sight here. Inflation is going to get much more extreme. The cost of living is going to get much more extreme here, which is where we are now. Okay. Your cost of living, everything. You name it, it's going to cost more because why? The currencies of the world are under attack via their own central banks. They issue debt to the world. That's all they do. You and I, it's an incredible thing to think about. I was talking to my friend Paul. I don't know if you're out here, buddy, but that you realize that we work for the privilege to borrow that cash from whatever central bank is issuing it. You don't own it. It's theirs. You've never really been paid for anything. You haven't been given a piece of gold or silver, which is real money. You've been given units of debt, Federal Reserve notes in these cases, a note, a unit of debt. So why are we paying tax on debt that we're not getting enriched by this? It's a kind of a crazy situation, but that's a fact here. And this is just not going to stop. With regard to inflation, we are seeing a particular set of dynamics in play that nobody is talking about. And why this setup is clear. It should be clear to you by the time you finish this video blog that we are on a pathway to hyperinflation. You could argue, someone could argue, most of you could argue already that we are in a hyperinflationary event right now. The dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power since the Federal Reserve took over the monetary system, since we were forced to surrender to the will of central banks via our loving, caring politicians who are still doing the same thing. Calls for a weaker dollar, calls for suppressed rates. You know what I'm talking about here. This all empowers the central banks. It doesn't help you. How does a weaker dollar help you? It sure as hell helps the multinational corporations. You know that every single president who want to be selected, think about what I'm going to tell you. They go to Wall Street first. They make all their promises about the big fat cats, the CEOs, how they're going to get tax cuts, how the dollar will be made weaker, so when they trade overseas, they'll make more profit. But you and me, how does that help us, the regular people, by sucking the purchasing power out of the dollar? It doesn't. And that's why you're seeing this. Okay, this is just the last 2 years, but this chart here goes, all the way down here. Again, we've lost 97, 98% of the purchasing power of the dollar. They're going to get the rest of it. And every single politician, felon or not, is involved in this game. I'm going to tell you something about this Trump issue here. He's going to be pardoned, just in case you were wondering. That's my belief. I think that the Biden creature is going to pardon him, but that's just my take on it. Make him look like the good guy. He's got this wrapped up anyway, in my opinion. Here, he's going to be reselected. The chances of Trump being selected here are almost zero at this particular time. At least in my view. It doesn't matter who they put behind there anyway. They could, I always tell you, they could put a freaking farm animal behind the Resolute. This ain't helping you, ain't helping me. That's a fact. This isn't going to stop no matter who they put there. Neither is this. This is, again, so let's put this together. This is the cost of living, 2 years. This is the debt. This is public debt. As you can see, we have obviously gone absolutely parabolic. Now, you and I talk about the money velocity, or the rate at which cash moves through an economy. We understand a few things are going on here, and I want to show you this so you can get just a picture of it. This is U.S. GDP, which is in severe contraction. Army Mom, thank you. You're appreciated too. This is just since Q3 of last year to where we are now. Do you see what's happening here? But this is great. It's fantastic. Now, with regard to our last GDP reading that we just got yesterday here, again, strip out spending for the Ukraine war and the Israel war. This is negative. All right. Government spending now, what was it? 37% of GDP is government spending, for which war spending. So we're in a severe contraction. The economy is contracting at its fastest pace on record. So think about that. So we have debts and deficits hyper-ballooning. The cost of living absolutely going parabolic. We have, now this should make sense to you. All right. This should make sense to you what I'm saying. Please just pay attention to this. It's very, very simple. When you have, and I've talked about this a million times, an economy that is actually doing well, cash will move through the economy rapidly. Okay. What we have, and what we've had for years, is a contracting or vastly slowing money velocity, the rate at which cash moves through the economy. You can't have the money velocity slowing in a booming economy situation. Now, I want to show you something. This is the money velocity here. We topped out with Clinton here. Started this downward spiral. Obama, Trump. Oh, wait, you thought the economy was strong under Trump? It wasn't. It was easy money being pumped into the market. He was distracting you. Look at the market. Rah, rah, rah. We did not have a strong economy. And this is proof of it right now here. Contracting, the money velocity slowing. Then, of course, scamdemic, where we came to a dead stop. Now, this should worry you. And I've been talking about this for 10 years. Again, that GDP in contraction, world economy in contraction. We've never seen anything like it. Cost of living skyrocketing here. Debt beyond belief. Debts and deficits beyond belief. Now, this increase in money velocity is not because the economy is doing any better. This is all of those extra bills that have been created by central banks, in this case, the Federal Reserve, now chasing a lesser amount of goods. Now, this can go absolutely insane. And I've been warning that this would happen for 10 years as well. You got to keep your eyes on this stuff because it's hidden in plain sight. This is not because the economy is picking up. We get admission after admission here that the economy is weak. U.S. inflation is still higher and consumer spending is weakened. We got a warning today. Another one. Let me see where this one is here. This is our lovely friend, Brian Moynihan, over there, over at the Bank of America. He's concerned here very concerned about what's happening because you see no loans, no deals, no deposit. This bank, Bank of America, who's been warning you about this bank for a very, very long time, I believe this is going to be the scapegoat, the sacrificial lamb, because they have to do something, just like they did with Lehman Brothers. Oh, we did something. We allowed this bank to fail. The banking system is so sick and so, and I mean literally ill. It's in collapse, but you're not allowed to know that because you see, the financial system only works for one reason, because people have confidence. They're being conned that it's going to function. It's not functioning right now. Again, this started a while back as our economy is free falling, as the cost of living is skyrocketing, as debts are ballooning here, as again, by their own numbers, severe contraction here. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And then we got the greatest thing of them all is that money velocity issue, wherever I put that chart that I just showed you. The fact that is kicking up people here, this should scare you, because this is the pathway. You're seeing a glimpse into, again, what could arguably be hyperinflation. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. But this is key here. This is something that should allow you to understand what's happening. This inflationary issue is not temporary. It's not transitory. It never was. All this they have done, this is deliberate, not a comedy of errors that they've printed all this cash out of thin air, buying everything in sight. And now we're starting to see, this is economics 101, people. All these extra bills are starting to chase the same amount of goods, or in this case, a lesser amount of goods. And the fact of the matter is they're going to throw other things at us too. Scarcity, resource problems, and this is going to explode. But again, this is what they're working towards. Melanie, thank you. This is what they're working towards. They are dismantling the current system piece by piece. It's being deconstructed. This is all part of it. All these charts I'm showing you, the deconstruction, taking down an entire class of people. That's the problem. The reaction of the people is they can't get by. As a matter of fact, why are 61% of parents still supporting their adult children? Because it's the economy, stupid. But I thought the economy is doing so great. Really? Oh, well, if the economy is doing so great, why are we in severe contraction? Why is the economy contracting? Why is it that the money velocity is kicking up right now? And the fact that debts and deficits are ballooning and the cost of living is skyrocketing. Do you see what I'm talking about here? You can't make this stuff up, but it's just so in our freaking face here. Oh, yeah, this was yesterday. GDP, the economy grew? Really? That doesn't look like a growing economy to me. But it grew. Less than they thought. It's not growing anywhere. Okay, just so you know. Yeah, it's freaking so twisted, people. Anyway, so we're going to be watching this more closely, you and me, this money velocity issue here. It should make sense to you, right? Booming economy, cash is moving. People are making money. They're buying cars. They're buying houses. They're buying guitars and whatever the freak they want to buy. So the cash is moving. It's moving. It's moving. When we have nothing like we have now, well, obviously you would expect to see this drop. And look at, I mean, come on, man. Look at this trend during these presidents here. Oh, yeah, even Trump. The economy wasn't strong. For those of you that were duped into thinking that it was, no, it wasn't. Okay, so but you weren't allowed to see this chart. Then he wasn't going to show you. No one was going to show you. It's going to tell you to look at the stock market because it was all-time record high, and that must mean the economy's good. The lies, it's too much. Anyway, but that's just the way that goes. But Goldman Sachs thinks you should buy commodities. Duh. Why? Because they're real things. Okay. This guy's been telling you to buy commodities since time and freaking memorial, people. You need exposure to commodity. Here's my favorite. I hate calling this a commodity because it's not. This is real money, and it's been real money for thousands of freaking years, along with gold. And, no freaking central banker or anyone, any of these imbeciles are going to tell me that it's not real money and central banks only hold it for tradition. You can't make this stuff up, but that's what Bernanke said. Oh, they also said that the subprime crisis, that was also contained, but it swept the world. Millions and millions and millions of people were thrown out of their homes. And then, of course, they throw the scamdemic at us and everything else, and we're supposed to just cope with it. But again, the system is being deconstructed. People, you all know that. So we're looking towards, with regard to rate cuts, they're coming probably, further out than I originally had expected. Bill, thank you. Yeah, maybe he owns BAC, but you know what? Whatever. He'll be one of the first guys out. Okay, there's just no doubt about it. And besides, he's 1,000 years old. Does it really matter? Anyway, people, look. What does this mean for you and me? Are we going to change anything? No. Well, you and I have been on the best course. We've been taking every freaking mode of action that we can to stay ahead of this whole thing. We're not going to get beaten. There's no way we're going to get beaten. We're too damn smart because we know what's going on. We know what they want out of us. We know what they're trying to do out of us. All the deceptions, the distractions, the look here's, the don't look here, the expanding war, and everything else that's coming down the pike here. It's just too much. Yeah, look, I could go on and on about all this, but I think we're pretty much on the same page. Now, before we get out of here and we do what we're gonna do, you know what we're gonna do because it's Friday. Okay. It is, Mark, it is a madhouse, but understanding this should allow you to understand why we here. This is a worldwide family. Why we are doing what we are doing. Why we have been doing what we've been doing for the longest freaking time. And we're all in the right spots. We're setting ourselves up for what's happening right now, not for what's going to happen. It's happening now. You want me to re-show you those charts again? I mean, it's right there. The cost of living skyrocketing. Debts and deficits ballooning faster than we've ever seen. A world economy contracting faster than we've ever seen before. Spending off the Richter scale. People getting strangled to death. 61% of parents with adult children are still supporting them. Does that sound like what did the creature? I don't even want to say its name. Well, we're not going to call him by its name. We're going to call him Bidenstein. Frankenstein. We're the envy of the world. This is the envy of the world. This is an economy here. The envy of the world. That's what he said. State of the Union, the thing, creature, mummy, freaking thing that it is. Okay. All we're doing is being lied to from every part. We're not getting any truth anyway. You think you are? No, you're not. Okay. You're just being misled on an epic freaking scale. And what you're doing is you're thinking for yourself, putting all this crap to the side. And I mean, the proof is in your face. It's always hidden in plain freaking sight. Anyway, people, before we go, anything else you guys and girls want to talk about? But Copo status. Okay, I was at the Copo today. The Copo is over at Jayberg's Garage. It's in its final stages here of getting put together. It'll be fired up tomorrow. Big job. It needed so much more work because the blower lockup that I thought. I mean, this is going to be epic. But I will have this out racing next week. There is no doubt. Bill, thank you. Try to test a question, but not go through over the target. I'm sorry about that, Bill. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes I miss this. Coco status. I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to get Coco out here soon. I promise, guys and girls. I really will. Anyway, lick the bull. Nah, leave the bull alone. He's just hanging out watching. He's just hanging out. That bull is older than most of you. I got that bull, I think, in wow. It had to be 87. 1980, 87. So he's an old bull. That thing weighs a ton. It's not made of silver, it's made of nickel. And I mean, that thing is heavy. Anyway, is that it? The bull is good luck. It's just like I said, this was a gift that was given to me by a dear friend of mine at the time. Lost touch with them, unfortunately. It happens. And it's just, represents my time on Wall Street back then when I was a kid. And I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Okay, so what we're going to do, Edward, thank you very much, is we're going to close here. We're going to put this week behind us. We're going to put this week behind us, okay? And we're going to start this whole thing again. Let's see what happens next week with regard to the cavalry arriving, with more debt buying. We're watching again the support level on the MMRI. I watched this, so I want to see where this goes. That's where we are right now. Look at that. Look what they did during the day. I mean, that's a lot of debt buying there, man. That's a lot of debt buying. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes, man. I can't imagine they're going to allow this thing to implode prior to the selection. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm deranged. Maybe I'm out there, but I'm hedged every which way you can dream about. I don't care what happens. I really don't. They want to crash the market and cash goes into commodities and cryptocurrencies. Good, I'm there. Okay. Uh, I'm still long this market as well. I'm looking for every opportunity I can take. And you all know that. I'm an open book. You all know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Anyway, that is my take on what's happening. And that's it. Yeah, they play their games and we're going to play ours, Shannon. You're 100% right. And we are on target. And in my view, we're freaking invincible. I don't know another way to put it. I don't know another way to put it. All right, look. So are you ready? Are you ready? Bring it in. No one's looking. And if they are, tell them to join in because this is something we all need to do. You ready? Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable people. This guy, he loves you from the heart. I can't thank you enough for being here, for your love, your support, your friendship, for those thumbs up. I know we can improve on those thumbs up. Let's do this here, people. Let's get this video shown. Let's allow people to see these charts that I share with you. They should understand what's going on here. At least I hope so. The time for action has already passed. You should already be in the full-on taking action phases. We must take action against the system. The system is being systematically dismantled. It's period, the end. And they're going to rebuild this. They're deconstructing the system piece by piece, and they're going to reform it the way they want it, creating dependency on the system, slavery to the system, debt slaves. Clever custom performance. Thank you. You understand? And we are certainly not the system. I am knowing they got us all. You and me understand what's going on. So we have our own system. You understand? We're betting against the debt. We're becoming our own central banks. We are the CEOs of our own destiny. You understand? We're not flying through time and space here without a rudder. We know what we're doing and we know why we are doing it. I just wish we had more people on this channel. I mean, I have a decent following here, but if we had 10 times this, the difference that I think that we could make in the world, and that's all I want to be known for, is a guy that tried to make a difference, really. When I leave this earth one day, I want people to say there was a guy who at least tried to enlighten people as to, I don't know where you're going to get this kind of information, honestly, from anybody else. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I study it around the clock along with all of you guys. And it's all of you that make me a better person. I promise you that. And when I come out here for these live streams with all of you, it really helps me to get myself, straightened out. All right, people, that's going to be it. As I said, take care of yourselves, each other, and everybody else. I will see you Sunday for my markets, a look ahead. I think it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to keep our eye on the overseas markets, the futures markets as well. Debt market number one. And that's it, people. So I'll see you Sunday, okay? Until that time, take care of yourselves, and please take care of each other. Thanks again.